Hello and welcome to Lesson 6, page 53. This is the song titled Spring Fever in our Level 1 book. And if you'd like, you could join me now. I'm actually on page 51 because, students, we have a brand new note to review today. And that note is E. E is the first line on our treble staff. And what you can see in this nice little picture right here, we know where middle C is, right down here in our ledger line spot. D is on our space, and right next to it is E. So this is middle C, D, and E. So if we go over to our pianos, let's find middle C is our first white key under the group of two black keys here. Remember, it has to be this specific middle C. This is not the correct note. This is not, we want to use middle C. Right next to middle C is the note D. And lastly, we have an E. Very good. So C, D, and E. Our new note is E. There is a fun little activity down here to name the different notes. Let's go ahead and do that as a warm-up. So this is a what? See if you can name it faster than me. This is an E. I'm not sure how well I can draw them with this. There we go. There's an E. How about this one? That is a D. Then next to it, our new line note is an E. Very good. How about right here? Same as the first one. 3, 2, 1. It's a C or middle C. How about next to the middle C, we have right here a D. And here we have our new note, E. So C, D, and E, everyone. So now I'm going to journey over to page 53. Let's get that nice and lined up. All right. Here is Spring Fever on page 53. It looks like I might have to adjust my screen here. There we go. That's a better zoom for us. And Spring Fever on page 53, it shows us our three notes are C, D, and E. So it looks like this is going to be a pretty easy song for us, but let's do some review of our symbols. So right here we have which kind of clef? It is the treble clef, and if you remember, that means it is right hand music. So we're going to use our right hand for this song. And for the notes C, D, and E, I'm actually going to use my thumb on C, my second finger or my pointer finger on D, and my third finger or my tall man finger on E. Now you're welcome to just use 3 fingers like this, but I encourage you to start trying to use the side of your thumb here for the first note, and we play the piano keys with our fingertips with our other fingers. Your hand should feel nice and relaxed. We're practicing what's called a 5-finger pattern, putting 5 fingers on 5 notes. Even though you're not going to use these 2, we're still going to use these 3. But again, you are more than welcome to use any fingers you'd like. It says it right here in the book. Use any 3 successive right hand fingers, okay? So make sure they're all in a row. Okay, great. So now that we've reviewed our clef and what hand we're going to use for our notes, how about this symbol? This is called the time signature. And remember, the top number of our time signature tells us how many beats are in a measure. So 3 beats have to be in a measure for it to be considered a measure. And the bottom number tells us what type of note equals 1 beat, and that is a 4. And a 4, remember, means this equals 1 beat, a walk note or a quarter note. So there needs to be at least 3 walk notes in a measure for it to be called a measure, or something equal to 3 walk notes, like our other rhythm right here, a dotted half note. Those are worth 3 beats, and it looks like this song is only made up of dotted half notes, which we hold for 3, and walk notes, which are, or quarter notes, which we play for 1 beat. So let's take a look at our first line. We have an E to start. Then we jump all the way down to middle C. So we skip over D. Then we play 3 Ds in a row. And finally, just an E in measure 4. So let's try that together nice and slow. Hand ready on C, D, and E. 1, 2, 3. First line, play, play. E, 2, 3. Now C, 2, 3. D, 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 2, 3, and off. Very good. In line number 2, we have the same thing as the first two measures, E down to C. But look here, don't let measure 7 fool you. We play a D, but then, unlike our third measure, it goes up to an E. You have to be able to spot these tiny little moves on the staff, and we're using our new note E for the second note, and then we go back down to a D. So measure 7 is D, E, D. And then in measure 8, we land on a C for 3 beats. Let's try and play line 2 together nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, line 2, play, play, E, 2, 3, and C, 2, 3, D, E, D, C, 2, 3, and off. Very nice. Now, line number 3, we have a pattern that starts to happen. We get 3 D walk notes and then an E dotted half note. Then it repeats the same exact thing. 3 D walk notes and an E dotted half note that we hold for 3. Let's try it nice and slow together. 1, 2, 3, line 3, play, D, 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 E, 2, 3, D, 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 E, 2, 3, and off. Very nice. And let's see, line number 4, do you notice it showing up anywhere else in our song? I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you guessed it, line number 2 is the same as line number 4. So we have line 2 up here and 4, the same exact thing that we already reviewed. But let's go ahead and play line 4 together for the extra practice, and then we'll do our first full song performance. Here we go, line 4. 1, 2, 3, line 4, play, play, E, 2, 3, C, 2, 3, D, E, D, C, 2, 3, and off. Great work. Let's go back to the beginning of our song and try it, our first full song performance. As a reminder, if you would like a faster speed, if you're doing really great with these songs, go ahead and play along with our recording that is attached in the course on Teacher Zone. The recording is the MP3 that Mayron Cole has made for you to play along with, and that would be what we call a full tempo or full speed performance. But this is going to be a little slower for our practice. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, full song, play, play, E, 2, 3, and C, 2, 3, D, 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 E, 2, 3, line 2, E, 2, 3, C, 2, 3, D, E, D, C, 2, 3, line 3, D, 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 E, 2, 3, D, 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 E, 2, 3, last line, E, 2, 3, C, 2, 3, D, E, C, 2, 3, and off. Congratulations on completing the song Spring Fever, and I will see you on the next one.